In this video we're going to be tackling example 2. This says solve and justify by first multiplying by the reciprocal. So we know when we justify, we'll need our reasoning here on the right side. And we're asked to multiply by the reciprocal here. So 3 over 2, the reciprocal of that is 2/3. So we'll need to multiply this by 2/3 also. Let me write that up here on the top for you. I'll show you how to simplify this. I'm going to put that negative 24 as over 1. That helps me keep track of that negative 24 and where that belongs, and it totally belongs in the numerator. 2 over 2 is 1, 3 over 3 is 1. We're just left with 3x plus 5. No need for the parentheses, we just had 1 on the outside, and so 1 times anything is that same thing. The next thing we need to do is this negative 24 times 2/3. It's a negative times a positive, so we know that our answer is going to be negative. We can cross cancel here. 24 over 3 is 8 over 1. Then 8 times 2 is 16 over 1, that's just 16, and we know that our value is negative. Our justification, well, that was just the distributive property. To solve this one, we'll subtract 5 from each side, and then divide by 3. So x will be negative 7. If we plug negative 7 back in, we'd have negative 21, plus 5 would be negative 16, and 3/2 of negative 16 would be negative 24. So this one does check. We need to write down what we did to each side. So from this step to this step, we subtracted 5 from each side, or from both sides. And then from this step to this step, we just divided by 3 on each side. We'll try to use a different color here for B. We'll do the same thing. So remember that a reciprocal, that's just where you take the numerator and denominator and those switch positions. The sign needs to stay. We'll justify over here on the right hand side. So we'll multiply by negative 5 over 4. And what you do to one side you need to do to the other side as well. I'll write that 28 as a 28 over 1 so we can keep better track of it. Negative times a negative is a positive, 5 over 5 is 1, 4 over 4 is 1, so we're just left with 4a minus 1. 28 over 4 can be simplified. 28 divided by 4 is just 7. So we'll divide 28 by 4 to get 7 and also 4 by 4 to get 1. Then we have a positive times a negative, which is a negative, and then 35 over 1, which is just negative 35. And I should have corrected this mistake over here. I was going back to example 1, so my apologies. This is not the distributive property, my fault. This is multiplied by reciprocal here. There we go. Whoopsies. And we'll do that over here. The same one, we multiplied by reciprocal. Good math words to know. So we'll add 1 to each side. We could even write that now if you wanted. And we'll have 4a is equal to negative 34. Dividing by 4 on each side. A will be, let's see, I'm not sure if this will simplify. So what we could do is we can just work with this fraction right here. See if we can simplify that. I know these are even numbers, so we can divide by 2. We divide the top by 2, we get 17. The bottom is negative 17 over 2. Or the bottom is 2 there, and then negative 17 over 2 is the fraction you want. You can change this into a mixed number if you'd like, but for a lot of things in algebra, this improper fraction is a lot easier to use. We found that by dividing by, or divided by, we could write that, divided by 4 on each side.